Hello everybody, it's Tim here again, here with another review, this time for Agatha All Along. I figured I better catch up with these MCU like shows or whatever, because I reviewed all the rest of them. I still need to do like What If Season 3, but in terms of Agatha All Along, I believe the actress who plays Agatha, her name is Kathryn Hahn, I believe, and she was in the WandaVision show, which feels so long ago. In terms of this character, I never really like cared about this character, really, and when I found out she was getting her own show, I was like, what? Only because like she had that fun song, it was Agatha All Along, which was kind of charming, but that was pretty much the only thing she was memorable by. She was barely a character in that WandaVision show. So when I found out she was getting her own show, I was like, why? It just feels like an MCU problem where they're like really extending their properties lately, where they're just like, you get a show, you get a show, you get a show. It's like, okay, why? So she gets this show. In terms of the show itself, I will say Kathryn Hahn, who I believe is the actress name, don't quote me on that, who plays Agatha, she does a good job here. I still don't think she's a great character. I still don't really think she needs her own show. But if this is like a one-off, then I guess it's kind of okay. But at the same time, I just really don't feel like this character needed more exposure. She's not that interesting, but at the same time, she is good. And this show, it's mostly a comedy. I expected more horror from this show, but for the most part, it's kind of played for laughs. First episode, it's kind of like Agatha is inside this world or whatever, where she thinks she's a police detective, kind of like True Detective or whatever, which I believe at the end of WandaVision she was left off, where she was in like a TV land world or whatever. So it kind of picks up here with her still doing that. She gets rescued by this boy who we find out later is actually the son of Wanda Maximoff or whatever, the Scarlet Witch, who died in Doctor Strange 2. I don't really get this of how he's her son, like reincarnated in this boy's body or whatever, because I'm like, how does that work? Because I believe like her son or whatever in WandaVision was just like a fake. Wasn't he just like an illusion in this imaginary world? So how is he suddenly real and reincarnated as a human? I don't know. Anyway, it's magic though. Maybe they just don't want you to overthink it. Whatever. You get a guy who played Quicksilver in the Fox X-Men movies or whatever, back as his character Ralph, like Bonner or whatever. He was in WandaVision as well. He's fine here. He tells the boy or whatever, who winds up being Scarlet Witch's son or whatever, about the whole incident in that town or whatever with the Scarlet Witch and Agatha and all that. So that clues him in on it. He goes there pretty much to find out who he really is, and he also wants to resurrect his brother by traveling to this place called the Witch's Road, which is like kind of like this urban legend type place where you can go there and get like I guess your ultimate desire granted or whatever, and he wants to use it to bring his brother back inside the vessel of this reincarnated in this vessel, this like drowning boy or some shit. And so he like teams up with Agatha to go do that, and you find out a little more about the Agatha character, how she had a son, and they kind of hint that she may have like sacrificed him for more power. But of course, you discover no, he was supposed to have been like born dead, but she negotiated a deal with Death, who she kind of like had a relationship with, who's played by Aubrey Plaza. To like give him a longer life or whatever, and they do show flashbacks with her and her son, and it is kind of sweet. There is some kind of sweet moments there that kind of show the humanity in the Agatha character. She's still mostly played as like a bitch here, which is understandable. She was kind of a bitch at the end of WandaVision. And sometimes in the show she is kind of played as like possibly could be like a decent person or whatever, or not so much evil but kind of good underneath. And even when you find out she is kind of a bitch or whatever, or really is just a bitch, she still sacrifices herself at the end because Death, Aubrey Plaza's character, has showed back up to take the soul of this boy or whatever, either him or Agatha, because the Maximoff kid was meant to be dead, I guess, and she has to take one of them. And Agatha sacrificed herself at the end to be taken in his place. And when she comes back as a ghost at the end, she's like, well, I didn't do it for you. And it's like, well, yeah, you probably did. She has an attachment to this kid because it reminds her of like teaming up with her son, I guess is what we're supposed to infer from it. And the whole Witch's Road thing, we find out was actually like a fake thing created by Agatha. It was just bullshit. And the actual Witch's Road that they're on was actually just created by the Maximoff kid or whatever. He's so powerful, he just imagined it. So yeah, kind of interesting. Kind of interesting twist. I will admit I did not see that coming. I kind of like that. And Agatha's son or whatever, eventually, and we see in flashbacks, he gets taken by Death after he's been given like more time with her or whatever than what he would have had. Aubrey Plaza's death does a good job. You get the idea that maybe she's going to be like the main villain by the end, and we do get kind of a showdown, but it's not anything like amazing. But she does good in the screen time she has. Overall, from 1 to 4, I would give this a 3 out of 4. It's a good one-off show. You don't need a sequel to this. This kid either needs to, like, the Maximoff kid or whatever, he needs to like go on and like become a member of the Avengers or some shit, because you don't need a sequel to this. You don't need to bring back the Agatha character again. You don't need a continuation of this. You really didn't even need the series. Like, if you wanted to bring back like the Maximoff kid or whatever, you could just gave Scarlet Witch a movie and just did it that way. Overall, it's a 3 out of 4 though. For what it is, this is a good one-off show. If it's a one-off, this is a good one-off show. I don't need more of this, but it's good for what it is. It is mostly a comedy. I do wish it would have been more of like a horror comedy, but for a lot of it, it's just kind of really comedic. But overall, it's a 3 out of 4. This was good. It's not great, but it would be a thumbs up from me. I don't love it, but I did like it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.